I feel like we've all done a presentation in school on the pros and cons of social media. Like, I swear to God, I can't tell you how many of those that I probably made when I was younger, when I was in school, because it's such a controversial topic. Like, we have to be realistic about the fact that social media is here to stay. Like, if anything, it's evolving. It's not going anywhere. It's getting quicker and quicker. It's getting more and more innovative. The turnover time, like the like kind of like the turnover time, or like the, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that like the time it takes for, let's say, like a new iPhone to come out is even shorter as we go on, and it's just growing exponentially. We have AI, which is growing exponentially, but social media in particular is a tool that is kind of like a double-edged sword, in the sense that it's such a great way to connect with people. I think that's the number one thing, is like, you know, before we had the internet, like we had to call people or email. Well, actually, no, email, you need the internet. This is how you know that I have had internet since I was born. I don't even know what people did before the internet, but I guess it would have been calling. Like, you would call people. I don't even know how international calling worked back then, but now you can literally message someone on social media and get a response within seconds. Someone who is literally like in Japan and you're in Canada, like you can get a answer in seconds, which is crazy to think about. But I think because we're so used to it, especially like Gen Z, for us it's like, yeah, obviously, like I wouldn't want to wait any longer. Like, that's how I reach people. And I started reading this book called The Shift Age, and it's talking about how we're moving from the information age to something that the author calls the shift age, which is like this age of just like crazy changes the next 20 to 30 years, where like the changes are already being so rapid that we can't even fathom, like we can't even wrap our minds around the rate of change right now. Yeah, having technology evolve so quickly, having just like more output, globalization having taken over, and yeah, it's just like kind of insane. Like, we can't even wrap our minds around it, like our human fickle minds around like how quickly everything is changing. But with social media, I think there's a serious danger, especially with AI, because I just saw an AI video and it was so realistic. I literally thought it was real, and then I was like, oh my god, this is AI. But I got off topic. But I didn't finish that last sentence. I was saying that social media is dangerous because you're watching these people and you actually believe, like, it's easy to fall into the trap of like believing that this is how this person's life is. Like, you know, someone posts a certain like car model or like a vacation, and you think, oh my gosh, they're doing so well financially, like why am I not in that position? Or maybe I should go on vacation, or maybe I should like get that full-time job and like actually, you know, be like a normal civilian. Like, and I think this is this is me projecting, but also like I think this can be relatable to a lot of people in general, but also like if you're someone who didn't choose to take the traditional route in your career, then it can be like a little frustrating to like see, you know, everyone posting on LinkedIn, and I deleted my LinkedIn for that reason as well. Lord, like I can make a whole video about LinkedIn and how it just gives cult vibes, and it's just so strange to me, like how some people will literally just be scrolling on LinkedIn. Like, I remember I was on a train the other day, no, this was like a few weeks ago, but I was on a train and I saw a man. So the train, there were a lot of people who were going to this baseball game, and this man was just scrolling through his LinkedIn, like just looking at LinkedIn profiles and stuff, and I'm just looking at him like, is this what adults do when they're not at work? They're just like stalking their colleagues, or like trying to like improve their LinkedIn to like look better or have more connections. Like, personally, when I did have LinkedIn, I did not have that many connections, And I was like, how do some of these people have like 500 connections? I mean, I know they work on them, and like they're probably they're oh my god, I'm stuttering. They're probably in the right industries where like LinkedIn is like very useful. But yeah, I don't know. LinkedIn stresses me out, like honestly. It really does. I just feel like, I don't know. I think I'm overthinking this. I think this is just me being uncomfortable with it because I didn't choose the career path where like a LinkedIn makes sense for me. So I'm like, okay. Anyways, I was talking about social media and how you don't need to believe everything that you see online. Like, you know, things that people post, they are a tiny, tiny glimpse into their life. And this glimpse is highly edited and highly curated to create a certain picture of their life, right? So you can think about it like, for example, when you're making a movie, I'm trying to find a good analogy for this, so like bear with me. But like when you're filming a show, when you're filming a reality show, you have a lot of footage, but you go through and you pick just the footage that you want for a certain episode and you put out that episode. Now there's a lot of footage that you're not going to see. Okay, you're not going to see them on the toilet. You're not going to see them getting sloppy drunk at the bar because they drank too much the one night. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to show the bad parts for the most part, unless they want to add drama, but that's the producers, you know? But like, they're not showing everything. So you only base your opinion, and like, you can only interpret what they give you to interpret. You can't interpret beyond that. So just kind of like take everything with a grain of salt that you see, because that's just the truth of the matter. And yeah, like I'm saying this as someone who is a recovering perfectionist, and I used to literally, like, my Instagram used to be super like curated. Like, I would be literally like editing my photos, making sure that the colorway matches my feed, and I would literally go through periodically as well and make sure it still looked good. And if something didn't, I would archive it. And I would like also go through my archive sometimes and be like, oh, do I change my mind? Like, I used to be so obsessed with how other people perceived my social media accounts. And that's something I've had to like work on and outgrow, because then I realized, and especially like making long form content and starting YouTube has really helped me to grow past that and like show more of my authentic self, because it kind of forces you to do that. Like, something like YouTube really forces you to do that, because you're showing so much more of yourself. You're showing just like a bigger glimpse into your life, right? I've shown myself getting emotional on this channel. I have shared very vulnerable moments in my life, and that wasn't easy for me at first. Like, I went through like a really huge ego death when I started YouTube, because I just had so many negative things, like negative thoughts about myself, and I would like rewatch my videos when I was editing, and I would just like hate it. Like, I would just hate seeing myself talk. I would nitpick everything about myself. I would compare myself to other channels, and it just like was not the best. And then eventually I broke through that and was able to really just embrace like who I am and my quirky personality and my uniqueness, and that was really incredible. And yeah, it's just what you see on the internet is not real. It's not. So don't be fooled. You're better than that. And if you ever feel overwhelmed, I really recommend going outside, shutting your phone off, putting it away, just going outside, maybe listening to some music, but honestly, it's probably even better to be in silence. Going for like a meditative walk, being in nature, like just reminding yourself of what's real, like what's in front of you, okay? And stay in the moment, and yeah, just like embrace, like touch some grass, as they say. And I did mention at the beginning of this video that I wanted to talk a little bit about my career as well. And so, you know, I think on social media, there are obviously like a lot of influencers and celebrities and stuff like that. And, you know, ever since I was a kid, I was consuming that stuff. Like, I watched the Kardashians since I was a teenager. And just like other reality shows, I would watch like movies and TV shows, and a lot of like luxury type of shows as well. And I just remember like thinking like, I need all of that, and that needs to be my life, you know. And you know, I don't think that there's anything wrong with wanting nice things, and like as a tourist, I do like nice things. I really do. Like, I do. Okay. But I don't think that it's healthy when it's like you're a kid and you're obviously influenceable. And I would just find myself, like, especially with like these like influencer celebrities online trying to sell me stuff and like all of that. I genuinely like really thought that I needed all of that stuff to be cool and to be accepted and to be liked. And that's one thing that really factored into my decision of like, okay, I think I'm gonna try to go to med school, because I was like, if I become a doctor, then I'll have a good salary, and then I can, you know, get the big house, I can go on the trips and do all the things, be comfortable. But I was like willing to sacrifice my sanity, my actual passion, like things I was passionate about, joy for life, and most importantly, my time and my energy for these things, because I literally put them at like the top of my priority list, because that's what I was seeing that's what I was seeing online, and that's what I thought that I should strive for, right? And so that's like an example that I can give where, you know, clearly social media has affected my life. It's affected me. Like, I was raised in the age of social media, and it's definitely a huge part of who I am. Like, even the way that I talk is like from watching, like when I first came to Canada, I didn't even speak English, and I learned English from like watching Nickelodeon shows. Like iCarly and Drake and Josh, and the humor that they have is like very much my humor. And that was really like that, and then one of my best friends in first grade were really my English teachers. Like, that is like how I learned. It was constantly watching and studying those shows. And yeah, so I just think that like social media has had such a huge impact on like Gen Z, some millennials, like early millennials, and it has positive impacts. You know, I'm definitely very good with technology. I feel confident in front of a camera. I feel like I've also just been able to like experiment with a lot of softwares and like different social media apps, which have really allowed me to be creative and be myself and be silly. But at the same time, there's the dark side of it, and no one really prepares you for that. And I think like when you become an adult, it's then your responsibility fully to like set those time limits, remember what's important, also like be able to distinguish like what's good to put out versus what you shouldn't put out, or like setting that line between like just like knowing what you want to keep private and what you do want to share. And yeah, so I wanted to share that today. Excuse me. But I hope there's something in there that you can take away from this video. I'd love to know your thoughts on social media. If you've had any experiences that like really come to mind that have affected you in terms of just social media interactions or like something you've created, I would love to know. But yeah, just don't take it too seriously because it's all just a performance. So, you know, I hope that you can feel confident in yourself as you consume this stuff. I hope that you can also maybe find the courage to create something and put yourself out there if that's something you want, because it can be fun too to get your personality out there. And like, I was talking to a friend the other day about how we basically all have, we're just walking around like with our phones, and our phones are universes within themselves, and they honestly just have like an infinite potential, right? Like we can do whatever we want on these phones. We can create whatever we want. You can start a business, e-commerce, whatever it is, social media, content creation. There's so many things that you can do these days. And so if there's something that you're passionate about, that you want to create, that you want to share with the world, then by all means, like, do it. And the world would love to hear from you and would love to get to know you, even though you might not feel confident in doing that right now, or you might, you know, find that daunting. It can be good to challenge yourself and to take the leap. I never thought that I would be making videos like this, like on the regular, and enjoying it so much, but here I am, and I've met some cool people as a result. So honestly, as much as I'm like, I have mixed emotions when it comes to social media, I do really love YouTube for the most part, and I'm really thankful to have this community and to have this platform to just be silly and be me. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say in this video. I'm gonna let you go because I'm dehydrated. Excuse me. It is so hot today. I don't know if this ever happens to you, but when it's like a really hot summer day, I feel like super sleepy. I just need like to lay down or something. But anyways, I love you so much. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.